Hey everybody, that's Jake Gaskell here from G4TV.com, joined by...
Nicole Zavalich, also from G4TV.com.
What are the chances?
Yeah, fancy seeing you here.
Unbelievable. So, recently we had a chance to play through 3 hours of Skyrim.
Yes.
It was actually the first time I'd actually played it.
Myself as well.
So,
I hadn't played it yet, missed it up at all the cons, so...
Yep, it was on display.
It's kind of our final playthrough before the game goes gold and is released November 11th.
It's coming up.
Yeah, so as you can see there, you can use your ice arrows, like Link has, to freeze bunnies. And you can also use that freezing power on bears.
On bears, apparently.
Now, see, when we played, we started 45 minutes into the game, so we had very limited magic powers. I hadn't used ice yet. Oh my god, what? It's like an elk.
I know, it's some kind of tree demon.
Elk tree demon.
Yeah, which I guess the axe would be a good...
Okay, but it's like a wind axe.
Yeah, I'd probably go with fire against the tree.
Yeah.
That's me.
But see, and you should have fire because you start out with fire, and is that what the magic you used was?
Yeah, I think we both, kind of start out with, there's fire and then healing and a couple of those other things. So the thing I found that's hilarious and is kind of crazy is how you can make these kind of different combinations between weapons, powers. You can put stuff in both hands. So at one point I was basically dealing fire with one hand and healing myself with the other. So,
but didn't you feel like your mana bar or whatever that bar is in this game kept like running out?
It went down a little bit. I mean, we were level 1. We were very.
Oh
So
man, I went into caves and was surrounded by enemies, and so I would have fire in one hand and a sword in the other, and then I would just deal as much damage as I could, run away.
Well, yeah, running away.
Like a coward,
yes.
Hide. Then I would take out my magic. My healing, rather, and then I would heal, and then I would hide some more, and then I would go back and continue.
Early on, it's a lot about hiding. It's a lot of hiding and walking is going to be...
Well, all 3 hours were walking and hiding for me.
It was probably 2 hours and 48 minutes of walking, maybe, and then the rest was just crazy action. Which is not fair.
Right.
That's not accurate ratio, but you will definitely be...
But it is an accurate ratio, but that's not a bad thing.
Yeah, exactly. It's like any of the Fallouts or Elder Scrolls, like that. It really is about being in the world.
Yeah. And you're not walking, like, twiddling your thumbs. You're walking, twiddling your fire, and you're killing wolves and bunnies.
But then that's the thing, too, is that you're taking in this kind of, this gorgeous environment. Just kind of walking around, just listening to the sounds of nature, the rivers running, and the birds chirping, and all of that stuff. And, of course, dragons coming out of the sky to burn you to death. Right,
so that's kind of like the premise of Skyrim, is that you are dragonborn. You are I don't know, they haven't really explained the backstory. I assume they're going to explain that in the first hour of the game, which is why we weren't allowed to play it.
Yeah.
So my theory is that your mother was a dragon, and your dad was just, a dude. And
a drunk dude at a bar one night?
Well, I think they both had a few too many.
Oh, that's true.
The story
Dragons
I'm
are
telling.
luscious, so. And then you have a guy who is half dragon.
But he seems to have a disdain for his heritage, because he seems to kill a lot of dragons.
I think he has a disdain for being burnt to death from the sky.
Well, some of the dragons are ice dragons, so he also doesn't like being frozen to death.
That's true. I don't think anybody likes being killed by a dragon, though.
That's fair. That's fair. I just wish that there was some type of, maybe a side quest where you can befriend a dragon.
That is the kind of the ultimate, I think, the dream that I have. In the end, the last dragon shout is to kind of call your dragon in and kind of hop on.
Yeah, you don't need to befriend all of them, maybe just one, and he can help you fight the other dragons.
That would be pretty insane.
I basically try to make every game I play a Disney movie.
Oh, okay.
So
that makes a lot more sense now.
Yeah. So, apparently, we just saw a chicken be brought back to life. I guess, can you use your healing powers to heal others?
I don't know, and it looked like almost it was either brought back to life or it was sacrificed with ice. It's a little bit unclear as to what exactly was happening with the chicken.
Because when we both did a similar mission in at the Mage College, back to college, guys.
Again, exactly.
So at the Mage College, we both did the same mission, but we did it differently. I was tasked with performing a special fire attack, and I upgraded my fire spell, but you had a healing spell.
I had the healing spell.
So wasn't that spell to heal others?
She taught me to kind of project it onto others, so I guess you would help your kind of teammates, which would be beneficial because the one quest that I went on when I had to storm a fort was me and 3 other guys against, I don't know, like 30 guys leveled up by, I don't know, 40 or something. So we had no chance whatsoever, and I did not know how to heal people at that point, so it would have been helpful. So I think that's the thing too. Is speaking of cities, we're going to be taking a look at some cities now.
We're gonna try.
They really do look alive. Like they actually feel alive. You're walking through town. It's great ambiance. There's great design and everything. The taverns feel alive. There's people in there. Not quite as I don't know.
I mean, I definitely see what you're saying, and you walk into a town and the wind's blowing and the trees are swaying, leaves are falling, chickens are clucking around, but there's still NPCs walking around, and I can't even imagine how powerful this game must be to be able to support so much separate movement and so much already programmed AI. That you have fire. Look how good that fire looks.
It's really. It
looks
fire.
like fire.
Yeah.
Look at that horsetail.
And just seeing like the mountains, you can basically knowing that you can go to the top of that mountain. You're looking up and you see that. You look down at the leaf and it's there. Through our playthrough, we didn't really come across a lot of stuttering. They kind of held up.
Yeah, there were no texture pops, which is weird because I'm playing a lot of games right now that are retail games that have been out for a while, and there are texture pops. Whereas with this game, we're playing like a 2-month-out build, and it's this powerful, and still we don't have those kind of problems.
Yeah, it's certainly impressive from top to bottom, and I think, and that's the thing. I've never played in the Elder Scrolls. I'm not a big. I like the idea of fantasy, and I want to get into it, and I've always wanted to be interested. Just never got into it, and finally getting a chance to kind of sit down and spend not nearly enough time. I mean, it's not even.
It was a tease.
It's going to be at least 300 hours of gameplay easily.
No.
So it was a tease, but it was great to be in there.
So when I played Oblivion, my problem with it was that I felt like 40% of the game in the menus, and I definitely like customization and like being able to switch between weapons and armor and all that stuff. But I just felt like I spent too much time looking at parchment paper. So this game,
which there are. Thousands of books, by the way. So you will be
2,992 or something.
Good.
How many books you can find,
That's
and each one has 8 pages you can read. But with Skyrim, I felt like I didn't need to spend that much time in the menus. I could. I definitely had that option, but there was so much more at my disposal without having to go through menu screens that I didn't need to spend time there, and I could spend more time in Skyrim.
Yeah, and they've done a really good job. Obviously, we've seen it a bunch with the how they've kind of laid out the UI for the menus, and you have the right hand is your weapons, left hand is your magic. You look down and it's the map, and you look up and it's in the stars, and you see your skill tree and stuff, which is incredibly daunting. If you're we didn't have time to kind of sit there and soak it all up.
I tried. I spent a solid 7 to 10 minutes trying to figure out what to use my one skill point in, and I had no idea.
Yeah, I just threw it into something around. I don't even remember. Maybe health.
Purple stars.
Something. Yeah, that looks
purple
good.
stars.
First purple star to the left. Got it.
I'm a Virgo. Which one do I pick?
I don't know. What is that? Is that a goat? I don't know what Virgo is.
Constellation.
No,
Virgo.
obviously. Oh, okay.
It's like a girl with a bucket. I actually don't know. It's not really relevant.
No,
so I'll cut that out.
Done. Okay. Going back.
Horses.
Yes. But the other thing is with the menu system, and the great thing is, there are so many weapons, there are so many skills, so many spells that you're going to be cycling through. But the bookmark favorite kind of option where you can kind of just go through it, all the weapons, click them onto your favorites, and then you don't have to go into the menu while you're fighting. You just kind of bring it up with the D-pad, cycle through, and pick out exactly what you want on the fly, which eases up a lot of that that menu time.
And we played this game on the Xbox, and I probably would normally play this game on the Xbox, but just because there's so many options, this is probably a game that I'm gonna want a keyboard for.
I could see that.
Just as a personal preference, I want to be involved in this game, and I want to have more options than X, Y, A, B, or triangle, square, X, circle.
I can see that, but I don't think anybody's going to be wanting for options or stuff to do in this game. I didn't even know there was food making. You could be a chef.
Why?
I don't know. I went into a person's house, and there was the big hearth there, and there was food on the thing, and it was like, what do you want to make? And it had all these different recipes, and you have to go find ingredients and make stuff, and it has,
And you get XP and
you can make potions, you can make health things, help you.
Oh, that's
all sorts
amazing.
of stuff. I didn't even know that was it, though. Walked into some random house. There's 50 hours of gameplay right there just with cooking.
Christ.
So, yeah. We'll be doing a lot in this game, obviously,
Absolutely.
for the next year or so until
the Elder Scrolls 6.
Yeah, exactly. If they ever need to do that.
I think they will.
I think so.
Yeah.
Well, we got Fallout before that, but...
Yeah.
But yeah.
But let's talk about weather.
Go for it.
So, when we started, we went in separate directions. He went north, I went south. And where I went was immediately just rainy and snow, and as as I traveled, the weather changed, and it went from like this light rain to this heavy rain, and it became dark and cloudy, and then all of a sudden I was on top of a mountain, and there was like a hailstorm, and it was like this shiny. It looked like ice was falling from the sky, and it was amazing to look at.
Yeah.
And I've never seen weather done so well in a game, and it actually affected the way my character walked through the snow. Like he slowed down.
Yeah.
And I think that just kind of is a testament to this game in that they took every detail into consideration, and it snows a lot.
It does snow a lot, and it's we were playing in a very cold room, so the effect
It was cold.
was added. But it is kind of amazing when you travel through the different regions. I was mostly in the north, so it was snow on the ground, and but there's one area where the blizzard kind of really kicked up, and you can't really see, and it's whitewashed, and it is kind of amazing how the world feels. Like, and I probably would have felt cold if it wasn't cold in the room. That's how effective it is. Enjoy all of our Skyrim content. You can read both of our previews at g4tv.com/previews, and look for more Skyrim shortly.